Hi, it's Papa. Today I want to talk about one of mankind's greatest inventions and how a minimalist do a minimalist evaluation of this great invention. No, it's not flight. No, it's not fire, although that was a really good one. And it's definitely not weapons of mass destruction. Where would I put one if I had such a thing? No, I will show you what I'm talking about. It's about socks. One of the greatest inventions man has ever made, socks. So I'm going to look at several kinds of socks from a minimalist perspective. You know, a minimalist is interested in a pair of socks that works effectively on his feet to wick away moisture instead of absorbing moisture and being squishy when it gets wet. A sock that keeps him warm when it is wet. A sock that's easily washed by hand and dries quickly as possible here at our minimalist base camp. So let's start off by thinking about the material. All the socks here here's pair number 1, pair number 2, pair number 3, actually half a pair. These are all wool socks. And then I have one more pair that's a secret that I'm going to show you soon. They're all wool because wool is the very best sock for the minimalist. Yes, it does wick away moisture from your feet when it gets wet. Yes, it does keep your feet warm even when it is wet. Yes, wool is easy to wash by hand. And yes, generally speaking, wool dries faster than faster than cotton. So wool is the material of choice for the minimalist sock, especially the minimalist who spends a lot of time outside where his or her feet might be wet frequently. And if it's wintertime, it's crucial that you get your socks dry so you won't be walking around with wet feet. So here's a sock. This is this ankle. Nope, that's not sock number 1. It's sock number 1. This is a wool blend sock that I bought at Walmart in the camping department. It is a nice warm sock, and it is wool, and it will wick the moisture away. It's on the inside. It looks like this. See, it's got this kind of fleecy material in there. That's thick and nice. It pads your feet, makes you feel good, and it performs like wool should when it gets wet, etc. There's and this is a long sock. I like really long socks that go all the way up to my knees because the pants that I wear are like knee pants. The big drawback with this sock, you guessed it, it takes forever to dry on the line. And that's problematic if it's wintertime and you go out and hike every morning like we do, and if it's wet, your feet are going to get a little bit wet because there's no such thing as a waterproof boot or shoe. And then you come in and you've got a wet sock. You hang it up somewhere under the eaves of the house or on the clothesline if it's not raining, or even by the wood stove, and you put on another pair. The next day you go out and get it wet. Well, eventually you're going to run out of socks. So you need a sock that dries fast. This is not the sock for you if you want one that dries fast, but this is a good backup sock. This is a good sock to wear in cool, crisp, dry weather because it's so comfortable. Okay. Here's sock number 2. This is also a long sock. It is also made out of wool, but on the inside, I will show you. In the inside, it has just a minimal of the fluffy, fleecy stuff. Okay. I got these in the Great Valley of California at a Walmart there. And they're just simple, straightforward, 100% wool socks. They do a great job in every way. They're not quite as comfortable as the fleecy ones, but They are warm. They do everything. They keep warm when it's wet, and they dry pretty fast on the line. Great sock. So I would call these a better choice. The only problem is they are hard to get. I can't find them anywhere. Since I came back from California, I can't find them on Amazon unless I'm going to pay, $15, $20 a pair, which no minimalist will willingly do. Okay. Now, I did pay like $12 a pair for these. I wanted to try out these ankle high socks. And these are wool socks also. These are smart wool socks, I think they are. No, they're not smart wool, but they're virtually the same thing. They've got a little fleecy stuff on the heel. They're a good choice, winter or summer, because first of all, they don't have the big tube part coming up that has to dry. If you're going to dry your sock, they do give you the same protection and wear that a long wool sock does, but they dry faster, by far faster than this fleecy fellow. These are slightly fleecy. They don't dry as fast as these, even though they're short. You can wear puttees, which I wear in the wintertime, and I'll talk about them in another video. So this is a good choice of a sock. Winter or summer. Summer, it's a great sock because it's hot and you don't want anything on above your ankle. If you had 5 pairs of these, you're good to go. It's a good compromise between the long, thick, fleecy sock and say a sock like this. Because you can wear it winter and summer. It's got some fleece, so it's padded. It doesn't dry as fast as these, but it does dry faster by far than these. So that's a good sock. So, and finally, now I want to tell you what I really started this video for. I want to ask the question, the big problem with the sock, you see, is that it's a tube. If you're going to dry this tube, it's going to take some time because you're going to have to dry the inside and the outside. And that's a drawback. So I ask you, was there ever anything better than the tube? From a minimalist standpoint, the answer to that is yes. Another question. What did people do before they invented socks? Excellent question. Did they suffer? Perhaps some people did. But I'm going to show you a really good way that people substituted for socks before socks were invented. I don't know when socks were invented, but here we go. This is a sock. Doesn't look like a sock. It is a sock. It's made out of wool. Ouch. Oh, I forgot to tell you, these guys are so great, but they cost $12. If you had 5 of these, you'd pay $60. And that might be worth it to you in the long run if you can make them last for years. But this is the sock that I'm talking about. This is a sock strip. You could call it a strip sock, but it has some strange implications. It is made out of a wool blend, mostly wool, 70% wool, from an army blanket that I bought. And I cut strips out of it and I hemmed the sides here. You can see it's about 5 inches wide. It's about 3 feet long. And it is a sock. It does everything that a good sock does, and the coolest thing about this sock strip is that it dries fast. It dries faster than this. It dries faster than this. It dries way, way faster than this. If you're going out like camping or something or backpacking, take your regular socks. Take this. But take a couple of pairs of these. You can use them for other things. Uh-huh. 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 Now I got to show you, and I guarantee you, before socks were invented, people use these all the time. They're so simple to make. It's just a strip, and they're so cheap. A pair of these, I don't know, maybe they cost me $1 as compared to $12 for a pair of these. Now, there's a little bit of art to putting these on, and I'm going to show you how to do that, how I do it right now. There's a lot of ways to do it. Oh, also, in the old days, other than a sock strip, they also had big square pieces of cloth, just about the size of a bandana, and they would put their feet in that, wrap those around, and put your boots or shoes on top of those. And those were all right, but they dried quite easily, but that's a lot of cloth, and they probably didn't look too cool. Okay, how to put on a sock strip. Let's do it. Okay. All right. Step one, you wrap it around under your foot, under the ball of your foot, like so. Your toe is sticking out, or your toe is at the very edge, and have one side longer than the other, like that. See, this side's longer than this, and the long side is what you start with. You wrap it around your foot, like that, kind of at an angle. Pull it tight, and then you go. That's one wrap, and then you go around the back of your heel. That's number 2. And then just put it right there. Then you take the other side and do the same thing. You wrap it around your foot one time. Pull it tight and wrap it behind your heel. One time over at an angle, one time around the back of the heel. And then I have these elastic strips that I use to hold them in place. Now you don't have to keep these strips on. Once you get your shoe on or your boot on, you're good to go. Okay, there's my sock. It's not perfect. With a little effort, you can make it perfect. And then you slide it into your boot, shoe, sandal, whatever. You're good to go. Now in this case, it's not going to stay unless I have this on there. I want to look a little fancy, I want to look cool. Just kind of do it down like that. Isn't that slick? And it'll dry so fast. You can have, if you're wearing boots that come up to here, you can take this elastic strip off and it'll stay. If you have several pair, they don't take up much room in your pack if you're backpacking, and they dry super fast, faster than anything else, and yet they still perform the function of a wool sock, keeping you warm, wicking moisture away from your foot, keeping your foot warm when they're wet, drying quickly.